Hello, how are you? Welcome along to Soundtrack and Extra. This is our kind of like extension of the podcast. So I have a weekly podcast where I talk about film and music with the great and good of the world of film and TV and music. And then on here on the YouTube channel, we try and share either extra bits with you or sometimes just the full visual interviews as and when we get access to filming them. So it's kind of limited in terms of my ability as an editor, in terms of how well they're cut together and stuff, but sometimes it's just quite nice to give you the raw material. Talking of raw talent, Mr. John Boyega, who you can see behind me, and this is a scene from his new film, Breaking, that is available on home entertainment formats now to stream. And he gives an astounding performance. It's based on a true story. And being a big fan of John since I first saw him in Attack the Block, and then on to Star Wars and The Woman King, Small Axe series from Steve McQueen. So many great things that he's been in. So I'm a great fan of his, and I'm so excited to see this particular performance and then where that propels him. So please sit back and enjoy and watch our conversation. And we touch on a few things, maybe attack the block too. How
See
are
you. How you
you?
doing? I'm good, thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm really, really good. You nearly caught me just singing the Mandalorian theme in the background there whilst I was waiting. I've got it in my head.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Of course.
um, listen, thanks so much for your time, John. It's lovely to get the chance to talk to you, and congratulations on Breaking.
Oh, thank you.
What a film and what a performance!
Thank you.
It's very exciting.
Yeah, and I enjoyed working on it. It's one of the best experiences I've had on set, and we're really happy with what we brought to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lovely kind of story. It'd be great to talk a little bit about it, about the kind of your history with Kwame and how that kind of goes way back to that lovely kind of thing that happens really sometimes where things go full circle.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my first job starting out was at the Tricycle Theatre. I think they've now renamed the theatre, but it was Tricycle Theatre at the time in
Yeah.
Kilburn. And I was doing 3 plays, and Kwame Kwei-Armah was one of the directors for one of them. So, he cast me for when I was first starting out. And then, cut long story short, fast forward to now, he's the one that actually was the main co-writer with Abby Corbin on the Breaking script. So it's like a full circle moment. He actually called my agent and was like, "Look, this is something that I know is going to be good for John, and John would really sink his teeth into a role like this.
Yeah.
And then it'll be good for us to like kind of reconnect after so many years. I honestly, having Kwame involved is definitely special to me. Definitely special.
What was your response when you read the script for the first time?
I think it was my response was like just totally tied to the story, very emotional, shed a tear. I was just like, I couldn't believe I hadn't heard of the story before, so I was like, how did I even miss
Yeah.
this as it happened so recently and in Atlanta? But then it changed into the possibility, right? It's like you then start to think, right, they want me to play this role, and there's just so much depth, there's so much emotion. There's also a challenge in the subtlety too. It's not all kind of like extroverted and dramatic. Some of it is inward. Some of moments that Brian doesn't even say a word. So I was just like, this is a big opportunity for me as an actor anyway. So let me just try and get this done.
And you didn't have much prep time, is that right? Like a couple of weeks sort of to,
Yeah, like
is that
around
right?
about 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, around about 2 weeks. The turnaround was tough. With indies, they had a previous actor on it before, and scheduling and all that stuff, it had kind of fell through. So with the turnaround for them to get back on set,
Yeah.
and mind you, we were filming in kind of like a getting to know COVID world. it,
Wow.
we only had two. There was like, this is the only time you could do it, so we had to
Yeah.
make it work. Yeah,
Hey, things happen for a reason, and
that's
this
it.
is a great
That's
example
it.
of that. I mean, I hope you take this as a massive compliment, but I walked away from watching it, and someone had said to me, "Oh, what have you just watched?" And I was like, I just watched Breaking, and it's just kind of, and I was like, "Oh yeah, John Boyega." I was like, it's basically confirmed to me that he's our Denzel. It's like it's just the performance is so great, and we've been so brilliant watching you in this journey that you've been on, whether, Tack the Block and Star Wars and
Mm,
Detroit and, small axes and stuff like this. But this is another level as well. This is like,
mm.
because so much of it's on you.
Yeah,
Um,
and it felt like that. But what's amazing about it is also my co-stars who were there to help me, especially Nicole Bahari,
yeah,
and Salinas as well. Who this does feel like theatre, or it being based in one place. Um, Me being the controlling energy of that space because of the circumstance, but them being there as actresses to support
yeah.
my performance, it meant absolutely everything to whatever you saw me do. So it's just a great, it's when you add the jigsaw puzzles that it all just works out, and you can watch it and tell that the collaboration was just solid.
Because the character spends a lot of time, on the phone negotiating, having conversations with people. But I was reading that it was really important for you to kind of to be there when, when those things were happening, to help, to make sure that connection between those conversations felt real for the audience and for the actors, I imagine.
Yeah, 100%. I think everyone felt that. Definitely there'll be loads of scenes in which you would be on the phone or kind of like physically disconnected with the characters. But because of the way it plays out visually, the audience can see both sides.
Mm.
We wanted to make sure that those energies connected. And so everyone came, not just me. Michael K. Williams came in for his off-screen lines, or Olivia Washington. Everybody came in to do the due diligence to make sure that whoever was on screen was getting the proper necessary performance to be able to just convey that emotion, and it really, really worked.
And I read as well, really, really beautiful experience for you with regards to, being I don't even know if you had aspirations to be an actor at that point, but kind of being a fan of The Wire and having, you talking about the having The Wire DVDs and telling Michael all about that and stuff, and having the opportunity to work opposite someone that that you'd watched and you'd grown up and admired.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant because The Wire was definitely inspirational to me as an actor. Not only was I seeing actors kind of really do character work, like get into, like, transform into different people.
Yeah.
It was the first time I was exposed to a lot of British actors who were in projects and playing American, and I didn't know they were British, and that kind of gave me the confidence to be like, wow, I can't wait to at least collaborate with someone from the show. And Omar being one of my favorite characters, we came to a point where we're like, Abby said, we don't know who we want to play the negotiator, but there's one name that comes up, Michael K. Williams. I said, let me pen a nice letter. Let's make this personal. Can't just be business and just
Yeah.
offer money. Like, let's make sure that tell him how much we need this.
Yeah.
And he answered our call, came down. He was absolutely phenomenal in this.
Oh man. Does music come into your kind of prep at all for roles, or when you're kind of, I don't know, when you're getting into backstory to characters, do you create playlists, do you do any of that kind of thing? Because I think with this film in particular, the amazing Michael Abels, I think it is, who did the
Yeah,
score
do
for
the
this. I mean,
score. Yeah.
he's just extraordinary, and obviously he's got amazing. I've spoken to Jordan Peele a lot about his work with him, but
Hmm.
just that cello and the kind of, it sets a real tone for that character. And I wondered, whether music was something with regards to your prep for Brian, was something that came into it at all.
Yeah, absolutely. There's only one song where happy enough it was actually a score from Blood Diamond. The song called "Your Mother Loves You"
Oh
was the
wow.
main soundtrack for the prayer scene that Brian goes through when he's having that last conversation with his daughter. Funny enough, most roles there would be, and loads of actors mentioned it's nothing special, but people have like a playlist like for
Yeah.
each character when you walk into set where you think it's going to be. I was recently working with Jamie Foxx, and it was back-to-back tracks played on set.
Yeah, I imagine. It's
I
like being at a
mean, that's a
club
different
all
level of
day,
stardom.
every day. Yeah.
Right. It's like everyone has to listen to this, but definitely there usually is a track list, a playlist with every character, and I will be more attracted to scores from other movies. It's just that the narrative in itself, for some reason,
Yeah.
this composer has made it match the emotional dynamic of this scene specifically. So "Your Mother Loves You" was the one song that I could use for breaking. In fact, when I would listen to this song, I just felt like Brian wasn't too far away. It just very much gives a tone that supports his like mental health, where he's at in the beginning of the movie, and it's strenuous, it's emotional, and I would listen to that, and I just felt like it just set me in the mode.
It's so crazy to think. I mean, I didn't know about the story either, and I kind of, I wish I did, and I think it's brilliant that we can do that through art and creativities, really, throw a spotlight on conversations that still need to be had, and remind people about people's situations and what they went through. And it's, I don't know, I think it's one of the many powerful things about this film is that it really does make you think and ask questions, and you, yeah, and it's not really a question as well, but just the idea as well that it's a really beautiful character study of this man. I feel this
That's how
film.
it felt to me, and the opportunity to kind of walk the steps of this character study. I said this is also quite entertaining. Like I said, I've never seen a bank robber that's been so pleasant. Doesn't forget his pleases and thank yous, which is another dynamic as an actor. It just makes you very, very excited to explore.
Yeah. I saw Joe Cornish the other night, which was very exciting.
Hey,
Hey,
brilliant. Where were you at?
it was something to do with BAFTA.
Okay,
It's a slight blur. It was him and Edgar were in the same room together doing something.
Cool.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But I know that there's kind of a word of Attack the Block 2, and he's mentioned he's thinking of Aliens in T2. I mean, what can you say anything? Because that look at that face. That face said more than it.
I can't say nothing. But what I will say for me is exciting. The idea of coming back to shoot something like that at home is exciting.
Yeah.
I also think that Attack the Block at the time was the first of its kind.
Yeah.
Especially a lot of people understood it, but it took some time for people to go, oh, this is kind of a new, fresh, creative take. So we wish to continue in that vein, but obviously there's some new stuff going.
Yeah. Whoop whoop! It is out of the breeze. I just think that it's I've got my 14-year-old. It's really great because he's at that age where I can have so much fun, like watching films with him, and it's kind of like, oh mate, and he's like, Mum, I want to watch this one. Can you I want to watch this with my mates? Can you?
No, I can't wait. I can't wait because I feel like with a film like this as well, man, we're gonna bring that London culture back to the big screens too, and that's gonna be hilarious to explore.
But it's great that you are, because not everybody would feel like they needed to or wanted to. Do you know what I mean?
That was the thing,
and I love that you are.
Yeah, that was the thing that was quite different for me. I was just like, why do we always go back to the States? Gain like this kind of and a much appreciated power, and we are notified, but then we don't bring back that kind of glimmer back home. And at this point, at a point where we can raise more money for it, we can have better access to better visual effects and all of that stuff. It just felt like a great opportunity for me to go back and do something back home.
Also, I was just tidying up my I've got two boys, basically my 9-year-old's bedroom there before I came in, and found your Star Wars character, which was like the most weird kind of situation. It's like that. Oh my God, I'm just going to go and chat. It's so weird.
I know. And sometimes I see it trickle up in something. You never know where it's going to be printed on. I tell you.
Are you like on? It's such a weird question, but when you were on set as Finn, I mean, if it was me in my head, I would just constantly be humming like the Star Wars theme tunes and all that kind of thing, because it's kind of like.
Oh, definitely on Force Awakens.
That's Star Wars.
Yeah, for sure. But also it was like, you just want to see how this movie is all going to come together when you sit down and watch yourself in it with all these iconic characters. Like there's a nostalgia to that for sure.
Yeah. Have you got aspirations? Because with this film, with Breaking, you're exec producing on it as well, kind of being involved in that side of it. Is that part of what you want to do in the future, continuing on screen, but also very much being involved behind the camera as well, and maybe taking those steps into directing and stuff? Is that aspirations for you?
Directing, yeah, we'll be in touch about that, because that's that is I think you have to respect the skill set of directing, go into training. I don't want it to feel like a agency strategy when I direct. But
Yeah.
I think for me, starting off, it's writing and producing. That's just my. I really have found a distinct love for it. You know, with writing, you know what it is. You got an idea in your head that's cooking, and you get to like expand on worlds and ideas that you have as an actor, especially. You're inspired by that. Writing, I enjoy. Producing, you're essentially integral to the development of the whole entire movie. And we all know there's different types of producers. I love being a creative producer. Leave the money to the line producers.
Yeah.
I like just, you know, exercising my creative muscles in that way, rather than all of it being in front of the camera.
I had the absolute pleasure of chatting to Gina Prince Bythewood as well a couple of weeks ago. Oh my
Well,
God.
everyone's been in town.
Well, I did a Zoom with her for this, and we talked about
Okay, yeah.
the Women King and the music and stuff. And she was amazing. I kind
Oh,
of
the
came away
best.
like feeling like I could take on the world. She's got this ability to she's so calm. But she's got this. And then I deliberately, I saw her in the room on whatever Saturday night, and I deliberately went up and said hello and met her in person. And again, she just
Yeah,
had this aura about her. She's so
yeah.
great. How was that experience for you working on the Women King with that whole kind of ensemble as well?
Oh, it was
Sheila and
incredible.
Violet. Oh my God.
I had an amazing time. I had an amazing time. Yeah, I was smiling most of the time. I think that, you know, just being in South Africa as well, being on African soil, shooting
Yeah.
something like that was important. There's so much beauty every day, people's costumes, the aesthetics of the set. And you're right, yeah, Gina remains calm through it all, just ready to guide the actors and actresses and give them what they need to be able to have a good performance. I thoroughly enjoyed my time on
I
The Woman
mean,
King. And, you
yeah.
know, even when we wrapped, I know I could have spent an extra 4 months working on it. So, because it was fun. We had a genuine good time. It was genuine good people in there.
I mean, to be fair though, you had a slightly easier job than a lot of them, just sat there on your
Very,
throne whilst they were all, kind of.
very. And I think that's important. In the age of equality, I think it's important for all of us to embrace these subtle changes.
Oh my God, I love it. What with Breaking, what would you really kind of want? I mean, I can't believe that it's Abby's feature
First,
directorial debut. That's
yeah, debut, yeah,
nuts.
yeah,
The
yeah,
confidence in
that's
it
nuts.
is the confidence in the film as a whole, but also the confidence in how she's given the performances space to breathe and
Yeah.
live and exist. I think is a sign of somebody who knows what they're doing, who knows what they want to achieve,
Hmm.
and particularly like you say, being under that kind of independent film kind of clock is
Yeah,
even
yeah.
more a
It's tricky.
testament to how great. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, she's incredible, and she really helped. I mean, this is a film that wouldn't have worked if we didn't have a director that was an actor's director, you know. And
Hmm.
that's when you definitely have to be the balance in the middle balance between the technical side and then the artistic side, you know. And
Mm.
for us, we really needed to immerse ourselves into this one space that would come to every day. So Abby definitely helped us from when we even started to research that she had access to all the paperwork that she gave to all of us to be able to get into character. She was there to support it throughout the whole entire film.
I find it really interesting as well reading about the films that Abby and Kwame kind of referenced with each other with regards to kind of writing it, whether it was like Dog Day Afternoon or
Yeah,
Fruitvale
Dr.
Station or
Yeah.
Denis Villeneuve. Sicario, I think, was another one as well, which was
Oh
kind
yeah,
of really
yeah. That's a big
interesting as
one.
well. Did they encourage you to kind of get involved in that side of things as well, or is that conversation something? Yeah.
I tend not to do any movie references.
Yeah.
And that's just the drama school in me, you know, of
Yeah.
the teachers back saying, you be the character, don't act like the character. It's just a
Yeah.
different kind of dynamic. So I tend to just get into this specific script and read it like it's a Bible, you know, memorize it like it's the Lord's Prayer, and then just live in that as soon as you get on set, because it's just, this is happening to this character for the first time in their lives. And of course, we're shooting a movie, but there's something about leaving a little bit that freshness that, you know, you get the audience feel like, wow, we're actually going through this day step by step with this character also.
Yeah. Oh, John, it's so exciting to watch, watch where you go on this beautiful journey. And And I really appreciate your time, and huge congratulations on Breaking. And I cannot wait to talk to you about Attack the Block 2.
Yeah, no, I can't wait. I can't wait to be able to have an open discussion about it.
Yeah.
And
Listen,
it's
thank
good
you so much.
seeing you not on the
Yeah.
carpet,
Yeah.
because every time I see you, it feels like
I'm
I got 2
freezing.
minutes before. Yeah, you're freezing. Oh yeah, you are always
freezing, and I'm getting that sign in the background going, he's got to go to the next person.
Yeah. We're about to start. No, it's great speech.
Yeah, you too. Take care. And listen, huge congratulations again on the film. Thanks so much, John. Take care.
Take care.
Bye.